I'll get up about 4 o'clock in the morning.
It is completely mentally draining.
Frustrating. I mean, it really is.
Have that cup of coffee, take a deep breath, and then get on the road.
Hours before sunrise, the gridlock approaching the Altamont Pass already stretches for miles.
It's treacherous. Stop and go, stop and go. It's tiring. It's just devastating to have to sit there and not move. You're stopped.
This is the grueling trek for those who live in the Central Valley but work in the Bay Area. More than 80,000 people drive over the Altamont Pass every single day, one of the most congested commutes in the country.
Everyone I know is making this drive.
Some of these so-called supercommuters are spending upwards of 5, even 6 hours a day sitting in bumper-to-bumper backup.
That is time that they're not spending with their families. That's time they're not coaching softball. That's time they're not going to soccer. They're not spending time with the kids doing homework.
The amount of time is pretty ridiculous.
He's gone. The kids don't see him. I hardly see him.
It has gotten so bad, one man even does the commute on his bike.
Things are broken here. We have one channel to get to the major metropolis for everyone to work at. I don't know how else to put it. There has to be an answer.
You know, you are facing a crisis. It's tens of thousands of people, and the number's going to rise.
We have to figure out other ways to move people other than building freeways. We can't continue to build asphalt. We can't continue to widen our freeways, and quite frankly, we've widened them to capacity at this point.
What's missing, clearly, is an effective mass transportation system that connects the Bay Area with the Central Valley. And it's a problem that we need to solve, and we need to solve it now.
The Silicon Valley tech boom has driven strong job growth, but also helped lead to a critical shortage of affordable housing. For every 6 Bay Area jobs that are created, just 1 home is built.
Folks have moved to the Central Valley because of the affordability and the nice house and the nice schools, and kept the jobs in the Bay Area and the East Bay, making that commute. So the more people that move to the Central Valley, the more we increase the commute time.
San Joaquin Valley commuters now represent the heaviest flow into the Bay Area. And to really understand how it impacts quality of life, you have to hear it from someone who does the drive every day.
It's not the greatest way to start your morning. But I would say on average it's about 2.5 hours. These big rigs.
Moral Benham Garcia races out the door before her youngest son gets out of bed. She pulls over to say good morning on FaceTime.
What's wrong? Why are you sad? You didn't have good sleep? Okay. I hope you have a good day at school.
Okay, bye.
I love you.
Love you.
Bye. I'm missing out. I miss out on the best things that I don't get to be here for. But we don't have a choice.
Tell me what's happening on TV right now. What part is it?
And so I live through technology right now. My entire life right now is through FaceTime. I get in, if I'm lucky, 7 o'clock. By the time 7 rolls around, I have 1 hour with my children before their bedtime.
They are just one of countless families dealing with the same struggle.
It's extremely difficult. It's probably the hardest thing for me, and that's why this is so important to me. Because with the current infrastructure, I'm suffering. My children are suffering. Having 1 hour with my kids is devastating for me as a parent. And it's insane that it's due to a commute.
Of course, there's much more to this than just a commute. It's a quality of life issue with wide-ranging impacts.
I think it's an important public health issue.
Numerous studies link mega commutes with higher blood pressure, obesity, and of course, increased stress. The number of people commuting from San Joaquin County into the Bay Area is rapidly rising, by 30% in recent years.
I know in our county, we do have higher rates of obesity and prediabetes, diabetes, high blood pressure, heart disease. I think there's other factors that can go into that, but I think we can also point to, again, inactivity and having to commute is one of the contributing reasons.
The family dynamic suffers too. Researchers point to long commutes, contributing to anxiety and depression.
When you get stuck at a long day at work once, it's one thing. But when you get stuck there a long time and then you have a 3-hour commute to get home, and you get home after dinner and after the kids are in bed, what can you do? You can't be a dad. You can't even be a husband at that point. Families fall apart because we're not there.
Much more than a traffic jam. Yeah, it's a traffic jam in life. That's not what makes a strong community or society.
Thank you very much.
On a recent Saturday morning, families in Mountain House packed this public meeting.
That's one of the big issues, right?
Anxious to hear about a project that could change everything.
Can't stand the commute. It's draining me.
They're here to learn about Valley Link, a vital commuter rail project that would connect the San Joaquin Valley to the Bay Area, connecting people, housing, and jobs.
Everybody in Mountain House for sure would love Valley Link to happen.
Valley Link would extend commuter rail from the Dublin Pleasanton BART station, adding several stops along the I-580 corridor, as well as in Mountain House, Tracy, River Islands, and North Lathrop. A future phase will reach Stockton. The project would provide frequent, reliable service in both directions, and it would connect BART and ACE, a key part of providing mega-regional access to 800 miles of existing rail and 90 existing stations. The project closes a gap in the regional rail system and facilitates access to job centers in all directions.
Right now, 580-680 is a mess. The biggest problem is ACE doesn't connect to BART. What Valley Link does is it connects both of them.
The Tri-Valley San Joaquin Valley Regional Rail Authority, a coalition of cities and agencies in the Northern California megaregion, is leading the effort. The authority was established in 2017 by Assembly Bill 758, co-authored by Assemblymember Catherine Baker and Assemblymember Susan Eggman.
I am just a firm believer in if there's a problem, we should find a way to solve it. We're California, it's 2019.
We must figure out a solution to make sure that our community continues to grow strongly and healthier. And Valley Link is that solution. Valley Link is the solution for also the economic growth of our Central Valley.
Here's the path Valley Link would take. The authority is working collaboratively with Union Pacific to operate trains on their existing right-of-way through the San Joaquin Valley. Over the Altamont Pass, tracks will run along a corridor once part of the original Transcontinental Railroad back in 1860. In the Tri-Valley, tracks will be built along I-580.
We can run 12-minute headways, meaning every 12 minutes you're going to see a train coming into your station to pick you up and connect you with either the ACE line or connect you with BART in the Dublin Pleasanton station.
In an area known for some of the first ever wind farms, it's worth noting Valley Link is striving for 100% sustainability. Hybrid trains, similar to eBART in Antioch, would be used, with conversion to full battery-powered trains in the future, dramatically cutting greenhouse gas emissions by taking cars off the roads and using clean technology.
We want to make sure that we are a model not only for Valley Link, for what we can do here in California, but what we can do in the nation.
This is a working class neighborhood. This is what they call the entry level.
Back in the Bay Area, realtor Tom Liu drives through blue-collar Fremont, where the average home price is an eye-popping $1.1 million.
Definitely a big shock. I think when they see $1 million home, they're expecting extravagance, and here they're just getting your typical 50-year-old rancher. It's just to the point where they just can't afford it.
It's no wonder at new communities like River Islands and Lathrop, families are buying houses as fast as they're being built.
Our homes here are about half the cost as they are in Fremont, in a beautiful community with great schools. Unfortunately, you have to commute. Over 80% of the people who buy homes here commute into the Bay Area.
Michael Robinson and his family moved in from the Bay Area. They love their new family-friendly community just not his crippling commute.
To be able to be here with my wife and kids more frequently would be a godsend.
We need to provide an alternative for our residents to get on a train rather than sit behind a wheel in traffic.
With the planned Valley Link stop here, folks like Michael could walk to the train. In what will ultimately be a community of 30 to 40,000 people, River Islands is also building a business park to attract employers. Valley Link isn't just about commuting west over the Altamont. It's about easing access in both directions.
It's a once-in-a-lifetime project, both for downtown Tracy, for Tracy City overall, and for the region as a whole. The Valley Link is critical in both directions.
It is so critical in terms of jobs housing balance. I mean, to have all these workers out here, we need to get the jobs out here. And I think the only way that companies are going to move out here is if they can access it easily.
You get a talent shift into the Central Valley pretty soon. You'll see an innovation economy begin to sprout in the Central Valley just as it has in the Livermore Valley.
Silicon Valley gets the headlines, but the Tri-Valley sits at the heart of innovation in the Northern California megaregion.
In the Tri-Valley, it's 19th in the world in terms of venture capital dollars right here in the Tri-Valley. So, people talk about Silicon Valley, but there's so much happening here in terms of just the life sciences, the tech sector.
There are more than 450 tech companies here and 300,000 jobs. The Tri-Valley economy generates $42 billion every year, and with Valley Link, there's the potential for much more.
I grew up here in Dublin, and I remember what the Tri-Valley was like before BART. Very much just a bedroom community, a sleepy community, nowhere close to where it is today. The thing that changed the Tri-Valley overnight was when BART came to Dublin Pleasanton. You saw the jobs come. You saw people not just commuting out, but people commuting in. The Tri-Valley's best days are ahead of us, and I think Valley Link will really help close that transportation gap that exists, and be able to connect people to the job centers that are here.
On mornings like these, it's easy to see the need for Valley Link. And just imagine that traffic over the Altamont is expected to worsen by 60% over the next 2 decades.
I'm not sure where that traffic's going to go because how much fuller than full can you get?
The time for a solution, the time for Valley Link, is now.
I think the question to why now is, if not now, then when? There's funding available. There's a strong investment in trains.
This is the next frontier. This is the next great infrastructure investment.
We're working hard to make it happen right now.
If we can't build a bigger road, if we can't build another road, rail is a better answer.
If they could fund it, I think it will help families stay connected, be together, be more united. That's all I have to say.